Good morning. It's February 8th, and it's the Wall Street Weekly Wrap-Up with your host, John Newquist. Another mega earning week. It was tough to cut down the list, because I wanted to talk about stocks I like also that I don't own, and stocks that made the news, and we didn't talk about Apple. So, I'm sorry. Yes, China's looking at their app store. It went down, but I don't want to really talk about Apple, so we didn't. Except I just did it right. Let's take a look at our next-gen growth portfolio. That's what we're going to call it. I had a lot of thought, maybe like 2 years, what are we going to call this thing? It's just our portfolio. It's the next gen. The best companies in the best sectors leading the way for the next generation. That sounds pretty good. I'm selling a product? No, I'm not. I'm just doing it. We're putting it out there, and we had a great week. Remember, it's a rare occasion where the S&P beats us. It does happen on a day-to-day basis, but we're up 4.4%, 0.1% today. You can see ours is the blue. S&P is in here. We're up there. I call this trend in January, and we'll see if it breaks. Selling Fridays, panic Monday. I mean, they sold it Friday, got the panic of, oh, there's tariffs, and then it jumped the stocks. And before that was DeepSeek and these momentum traders, which is a lot. You got to remember, they're on CBC all the time. Oh, I bought this now, go for a quick trade, and it sounds all great, but they're probably nothing. Maybe S&P average at best. They're not doing that well. I mean, so we're up pretty good. Good thing, because the DeepSeek sell and panic is over. They realized that the China people lied. The article in Asia Times that I brought up first was completely erroneous. $5,000. Oh, come on. More like $500 million. The broader market trends, our portfolio is leading the index again, as we expect. And S&P 2.5. So we're almost 2% already. 5 weeks, 4.5%. That's not bad. But even if we were at 2%, that'd be a 24% return. I don't know if it. I mean, there's going to be a lot of heartburn until things get stabilized, probably in July. So, I wouldn't be surprised to even get a 10% correction. The Dow I put up here, but look at this trend. The Dow is, it's choppy. This is a choppy chart. It's not a steady chart. So when it drops from these low declines back to the trend line, there are people that have a lot of heartburn, and that's one of the things we do. We don't overtrade. We trade very little. We're adding it when they're putting stocks on sale, which we bought a stock today. We'll talk about it. Look at this. The Qs, the NASDAQ is down the lowest. When is the last time you've seen that in a year? Oh, what, 2001, 2000, 2022, or 2002? Oh my God, this is like a bad feeling, when they're the lowest, and Dow is the highest grower. Wow. So that's why the benefit of being diverse. We're not all tech. We got a high percentage of stuff. Actually, if you want to say what we have more of is really healthcare, which is the area that's not getting beat, because I always get, we're high-end healthcare because AI is going to benefit healthcare. We're just picking a basket of companies, hoping to get one of them start doing some revolutionary things, and I think it's going to happen. All right, let's take a look at the indicators. The 2-year note's going up. The bond market is telling you they're worried. When we're getting up there and everything's going up 4 basis points this week, it is not a good feeling. Crude 72. I mean, they really want to get it down. I mean, my guess was 339 today. So it's up there. Natural gas, of course, is high because it's been a cold January. Over $200 NICOR bill, over $200 ComEd bill. People are going to feel it. So what do you got when you got these 2 big bills, which are usually half of this in the summer, or at least that? I mean, my air conditioning bill is cheaper than my heating bill for electricity, and it's because I like spot heat, and it just feels so good. Gold, oh my God. I could put the gold chart up again like we did last week, but geez, 2,800. I remember my prediction is 3,000. If you would have bought it back then when it was 2,700, it was in there. If you would have been in there like a couple years ago, we were buying at 1,600, 1,700 physical gold. That's good, Silver, boy, 32, solid. Anytime it's over 30, I'm happy. Remember, in the craziness of 1980, when Bunker Hunt was trying to corner the silver market, Hunt's ketchup type of thing, they got it up to $50 back then. So what is that, 150? So no, that's what the tulip mania is. You got to recognize these things that it doesn't make it. People have sold class rings. They brought in the silverware, everything to dump it, you know. Copper finally above 450. That's a good thing. Economy's good. Manufacturer added some jobs this week. Jobs report we didn't really talk about, but you know, 4% unemployment, not bad. That's bad from 4.1. So, I mean, I remember Santelli talking about the whatever it was, the underemployment number was like 7.6, which is really good too. I just show FTX, largest copper producer, top 10 gold producer. I mean, I'm not going to list all the gold producers, but it's top 10, and that's why you can see a lot of little bit of interest on here. You know, again, I think for materials, it's good.
This is a reminder. UV coming in.
UV
this
coming in.
This is a reminder. UV coming in.
Some days we don't know what Alexa's talking about. All right. Clorox, one of our companies we own in the materials sector, chlorine. A lot of issues in there. Fell 15% revenues. Normally, you know, I don't put up with this on stocks, but in the materials sector, it's so cyclical, you have to go in there. Are they making money? Sure. Did the street like the earnings? No. You know, not a good earnings by Clorox. But again, you know, it's it's dominant in the chlorine area. We use chlorine for everything. And if they're getting all this norovirus, guess what you're going to use? Chlorine. You know, soap and water type of thing. Got to clean the schools. That's what, you know, when I saw the norovirus hit St. Charles East a few years ago, they're going to deep clean it with, you know, Clorox-based products or other cleaning products. Okay, Google was the big monster. You know, between Google and Amazon this week, this was the real big area. I'm going to spend $75 billion in capex. They did not like that. You know, they're thinking, oh, these companies are going to drop it because DeepSeek said it was, you know, so cheap to do it. No, they're going for the Blackwell chip. They got, you know, remember the big four are going in.
Asking about competition in the tech industry, possibly related to cloud computing.
This is Gemini.
Intelligence. You mentioned Google, Amazon, and a company called DeepSeek. Here's what I can gather. Competition is fierce. Google and Amazon are indeed major players in the tech world, often competing in areas.
All right. See, even the phone, which has never participated, wanted to talk about this because it's exciting. You know, so yeah, I think it's in there. You know, wait. Who's the money going to? Oh, NVIDIA. We're not actually going to talk about NVIDIA, but indirectly we do talk about NVIDIA. Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, you know, everybody's giving this stuff. That's why NVIDIA sold out for 2025. That's why it's going to do well. But we decided, well, we talk about NVIDIA. We'll take a break. The shares per good, revenues, double digits, a little bit light for me. But boy, search is still up there. YouTube ads, solid, you know. I mean, you know, YouTube is pretty stable. They've got it done right. They're not investing in a lot of stuff. You know, I'm on it every night. So, cloud, you know, this is the issue. All the clouds are doing good. 30%. We're going to remember that number because Azure 30%, and then we'll get to Amazon the third. You know, it's down there growing double digits, but you know, it's good. The cloud is going to go good. It is a very good quarter for tech. And when we're doing double-digit growth, that's what we want, even though it's not what everybody wants on the street. Remember, there's a lot of momentum players trying to, I mean, you're not talking like, you know, a few thousand. We're talking billions of dollars in momentum plays out there. And these guys are coming in and out, in and out, in and out, scalping the trade, trying to get a thing, go in there, buy for a week, sell it for next week, you know. I mean, just watch, you know, CMP. See, that's all they got. Oh, I did this, I did this. None of them have to cough up their performance ever. Oh, hey, you know, eyes, did you do this good? You don't see eyes performance. You might see his fun, but, you know, they talk like they're trading like free money. Whereas we're real people and trying to make money. Merck, another one, single-digit revenue in healthcare. It's kind of low. You know, we'll talk about healthcare in the area. Of course, they're not liking that area. Downside guidance, that's just been a thing. Well, look at this. Earnings, you know, 1.72 times 4 is going to be 86, and they're getting growth. So 860, they're growing. It's not bad. Again, they're the basket. They're one of the big leaders. We think we're going to get something from one of these companies, and then we'll watch. You know, it's how low do we go to Merck? I don't know. We'll just sit there and wait. I mean, you know, it's painful if you bought it. I mean, I understand that, but this is part of the whole basket of the healthcare. Lockheed fired Helios 60-watt direct laser weapon. You know, I've been waiting for this weapon for a long time, and it's going to be on a satellite, and they're going to be able to shoot it from the sky, and you know, firing this. Man, you know, lasers are pure energy. You know, that's where they're going to vaporize people. You just think about it. You get hit by this thing, you're not going to be there. You know, of course, they don't talk about it, but you'd have to be wearing special eye protection. I mean, if you survive the hit, you're going to be getting possibly blinded. So, you know, again, DOGE has not hit the, you know, Department of Government Efficiency has not hit the Defense Department yet. The budget is passed, so maybe they'll do recommendations by the time they get to the Defense Department. You know, they better make sure those kids got clearance, because a lot of stuff is in the defense and shouldn't be accessible by, you know, people without a lot of experience and stuff. So, you know, Lockheed 600 down to 450. It's a pretty ugly trend. Again, we just absorb these trends. We go through it. It's going to be cyclical, and they're going to sell stuff. See, what they don't understand, that these companies are going to get contracts to sell to the other countries. You know, they're not selling them state of the art. It's just missiles, rockets, and things like that. You know, so yeah, they're not going to fund the Ukraine war, but there's a lot of countries that want the weapons. So I don't think the defense companies will be in bad shape. Plus, they get a lot of money and a lot of projects in the works. Amazon, this is the one we always watch. #1 retailer now, kind of big Walmart this week. So earnings were good, up 10%, double digits. That's good for retail. You know, when you compare like other companies like Pepsi and stuff, not doing so good. AWS, you know, so our cloud 18%. So we have 30/30 and 18.9. 18.5 was like the over under, and so it did all right. Did people like it? No, it dropped today. You know, I mean, it's a solid wedge upwards, way above the 200-day moving average and stuff. Next year, look at this, voice activated service will be released soon per Reuters. How much are you going to pay? How much would you pay for an intelligent Alexa? Could you imagine Alexa being smart and intelligent, talking to you like a real person? And that photo of Elon kissing the robot, it was fake. Don't even buy that crap. You know, don't be that gullible. I mean, he went on a date with a robot and he praised it and it praised him. It didn't even happen. People playing with AI parody on X got everybody, and even media bought into it. It's like, come on, just check it out. Always go back to the source. You know, we're getting a lot of nonsense put out there, and people are just biting on it and getting all excited and stressed. So I always back check everything. And you know, Jassy, I watched his interview. You know, he says we're going to cut the cost of inference, big cuts this year. You're going to do it. Save power, save everything. The data will be instantaneously. You know, the next thing is getting in there with you know, be able to analyze and be more human-like and things like that. And this is going to be a lot of things. That's why this stuff with NVIDIA and other companies are not going to be in there. So he calls this like lumpy. I love that term, technical lumpy. Weather lumpy. ARM, you know, Renee, the CEO, is on CNBC. I mean, you know, I have to say, if I could buy CNBC stock as a separate entity, I would buy it, because they're getting all the juggernauts in tech on there, getting nice interviews. And he talked only CPU in the 500 billion Stargate project. They're the only one. The only one in the Blackwell chip. They're the only one in the Rubin chip.
This is a reminder. What's happening with Bitcoin?
Well,
This is a reminder. What's happening with Bitcoin?
a lot of panic. A lot of panic. You know, when people are scared, they sell things to put money in cash and gold and everything else. And but I would have thought it'd been the liquid crypto gold or digital gold, but apparently not. We'll talk a little bit about Ethereum and see it. But the earnings good, 19% up. Boy, that's incredible. And of course, the street liked the earnings, you know. So, and he's a positive company. They're in everything, you know, everything. They're leading the way. So, I mean, they're the three kings. Remember, Taiwan Semiconductor, ARM, and NVIDIA. So we want to have, you know, those three companies as your basis portfolio. If you want to buy something to start in of all our stocks, get those three kings and start easing into a position, and then, you know, try to pick the best in each sector that we got, our dozen sectors or so. Philip Morris, I'm telling you, Zen was good, you know, but look at this jump. Oh, they're going to get rid of the menthol rules, you know, maybe not make menthol at all. I mean, every day I go to the store, you know, I'm going to this Hy-Vee grocery store every morning, and I'm telling you, these hardcore smokers, pack of cigarettes, Marlboro short, long, box, it's like this code language of what the cigarettes is. And of course, there's like 10 different types of Marlboro colors, and then there's short, long, soft, everything else. But the Zyn products, they can't keep up. Nicotine in a package, all the flavors. And I don't see regulations, but, we bought it. It was kind of like way, way down here, and 8% dividend. And now we're at a 6%, and look at these jumps. These are huge, and for what I call a flat, stale industry. So I think they're doing good. That's good growth, and that's why we bought into it, because, I keep on thinking, if they get into medical marijuana, which is in, 29, 31 states, if they let them in, they're going to crush these other guys. They're going to be so efficient. They're going to make it better. That's what everybody, they all want to protect the little guy, but none of these guys are little. They're all millionaires, multimillionaires. I watched the people that were competing for the license in there. They're millions and millions of dollars. That's why they can pay $50,000 license fee, not even blank. They're not people like you and me bidding on this job. They want these people to sit there and make more marijuana. It won't be. That's what's nice about the United States. It won't be all 50 states ever. Eli Lilly, Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly, GPT-1. Wow. GLP-1. Look at this, 44%. Now, remember, we talk about market single digits. There it is. This is it. GLP-1, it had been below 800 for a long time. 800. It got up and it went back down and up here. And people who bought 950, like, oh, you're going to have heartburn. Could you imagine? You get up 950, it drops, comes back. All right, I'm good. Then it went back down. Oh, you got to have strength, though, Lilly. But I just sat there and said, these revenue jumps by Lilly with Alzheimer, weight loss, diabetes, it is just phenomenal. That's why I said, when we had the chance to buy it in the below 800, that was a sign. Now it's starting to go up. Now we're $100 higher. So, I mean, this is a stock. It's expensive, And I tell people, if you really can't buy the 800, which I get a lot of younger people, I just said, go get Robinhood. You can buy $10 a Lilly. You can build your portfolio with a little bit every month that you get from your check or your every other week, whatever you get. And you can buy $1 of each of these stocks. And that's, it's good. Like people said, I'm just surprised, I only got like, $50 to $100 to spend every month for these stocks. And I can just go on Robinhood and I can buy this, and I feel good, and I can buy like 10 stocks for $5 a piece. I said, that's good. And then they watch it, and they're like, hey, I feel good. I feel like I'm doing well, and I'll be ready. These are people in the 20s and 30s, and they got 30 more years of this stuff. And, start early, do well, and they love it because, they love, oh, look at our year to gain. We're already up above the S&P, us above the NASDAQ, ConocoPhillips, I have to tell people, $1.98. They just did a great quarter, and they're putting out 2025 2.3 million barrels. So, I've been around oil forever, 40 years knowing oil inside and out, refineries, been into all the big refineries, including Conoco. This is monstrous. If they were their own country, they would be Kuwait. They'd be like 11th or 12th in production. Now, of course, as the energy, they're trying to make gas low, because that was a big thing. Oh yeah, when it was 2019 pre-COVID, gas was around $2 a barrel. Well, but that's the old days. It might not come back. I mean, when COVID happened or whatever it was, COVID, we weren't driving. A lot of supply, no demand. That's why it's low. So people keep on thinking about that. The COVID price will return. It's not going to. We're working. The productions are good. Jobs are increasing. We are going to use more oil, but they are cranking out more. We were at 9 billion. Now we're at 13. And then they're arguing about tariffs on Canada, which we import Canada gasoline and oil. So, the market's not liking it for the oil stocks, but they're good. They pay a good dividend. They make billions of dollars. ELF, normally we don't buy a sector that is absolutely getting pummeled, led by Estee Lauder, which we never would buy. But look at this. I mean, we've been in ELF, around here or so. We got out of it when we started seeing the sector drop. But once in a while, you get a big gift. It dropped 26% today. Why? Well, oh, let's see what she's got
This
to
is
say.
a reminder. Autonomous driving, what's the future?
What's the future of autonomous driving?
This is a reminder. Autonomous driving, what's the future?
Well, what's the best in the country? What's the first? Oh, it's Baidu in China. Go to Wuhan, you can take an autonomous car. It's wonderful. They're the best. They're going to take it everywhere. Waymo right up there in San Francisco. They love it. You know, you think about all these things you have to deal with. You order the car, it's there 24/7, no hassle. Just, just like you do. Get in the car, do it. It takes you where you want. Might even talk to you. Safe. Great track record. Going to go to Atlanta, and they're going to let Uber, start doing it. And that's going to be beneficial for Uber. So, Google is hitting on fire. Oh yeah, Tesla 2028 for the cab. What? 3 years? We don't have. It's existing 2024. You're 4 years behind the times. Don't be telling me that how great you are and how good it's going to be when you ain't even in the game. When two of the big players got 4 year head start on you. Oh no! And then the method of detection, people, which they used to hit with their old system, in there. But Elf. 31%. Everybody did not like it. He said January was weak. Well, if you have a strong December, January is going to be weak. The kids have only so much money. $12 for the Elf Hydration Nourishing Cream. The best, I think, out there. If you get dry skin, which is common for winter, put this on your dry skin areas. For night, this is amazing. $12. You can buy $200 nonsense. They got all that stuff. But this is a pretty good a product, and made overseas, of course, and Elf does it. They work. They're all over the place, and I'm going to take the shot at it. I like the company. I think the management's good, and they talked about TikTok was going to be a influence because was it going to be in there? I couldn't get the TikTok app. I don't have TikTok because of the security issues, but you couldn't even download it on Google Play, and same as and thing for the Apple iStore. So they're thinking it's going to be gone, and then they're trying to make a sale of it. I'm telling you, they have the best algorithm out there, better than anybody. And maybe this whole thing with Meta and Amazon and everything is right up there for you. You talk about a product like this, I'm going to get ads all over about Elf. Just by mentioning, because you heard the two phones are listening. They ask questions, and Alexa and the Google are just listening all the time. They're not supposed to be, but they are. You just heard it. I mean, it was so exciting. First time ever, the phone butted in. First time ever, the phone just had to talk about, deep sea, because that's what they love talking about, the future. Planeteer. I mean, this is a meme stock. I don't want to tell. It's not GameStop with no revenues and stuff. Yes, they jumped 36%. That's great. That's great. They got a lot of government contracts. That's good. They got products. They're working with Booz Hamilton. They're doing a lot of stuff. That's great. The boss is harsh. That's about the best way. You either like them or you don't. But I just look at the results. 36% revenue. They're doing good. Will Doge affect them? That's the $1 million question. That's the $1 million question. And the PE is only, not 58, 589. You're on drugs buying it this much. I mean, yeah, it's growing 36%. If you told me it was 100, that's fine, but not 589. It's been high. It's been up there. Yes, we could have bought it at 10, but it wasn't a growth rate like that. So they've been bigger every quarter. The growth is going up. So momentum players, everybody's in there. $110. Wow. 2 weeks ago you could have bought it for 80, and people was like, well, that's a 30% increase. It's momentum stock. Fire. You're going to get burned if you do it wrong. We're not into that. We can do it. Like I said, we can sit there and wait for Broadcom to come down deal. We'll do that, but I just think it's way too high. I mean, if you want to buy a momentum stock, just be prepared that it's like GameStop. When that was a meme stock, does it go up $100 today or not? We don't know. It's not based on fundamentals. Tesla went down 2%. Look at this negative wedge. It's going down from what, 480-ish, 300. So you're down quite a bit. Like I said, earning growth single digits. No. Look at the Optimus. Could be a $10 trillion product. Don't give me $10 trillion when you can't even get the damn thing out. I got Amazon. I work with Amazon. They are putting the robots out right now. They don't worry about talking to people. They just got a task and they're going to go pick up the products. $250,000 a pop. Ain't made by Tesla. You know, so what do we look at? You know, when I look at the cars in China, you know, Elon was and Tesla were #1 for years in China. And now Beyond Your Dreams, BYD, you know, 6% up. Look at what sold last year, 63,000 cars in Tesla, dropping 11%. BYD, 296,000 cars, 47% up. We own BYD, Beyond Your Dreams, in our Filch fund, you know, the Templeton China fund. We have Baidu, the best and first of the autonomous driving in our thing. That's how we're playing those two stocks. You could buy them, but you can't buy it in the United States. You got to go through the fund, and that's fine. The fund, you know, from, you know, Templeton is pretty good. Franklin Templeton, and it's pretty good. So I like the Filch. I should probably put the Filch chart up, but I didn't. XPO, I do think the CEO is really exceptionally smart. I mean, he knows transportation. He knows everything about the company. I mean, there's not a single question he can't answer. And but revenues fell. And that, you know, you can talk how good of a game it is. You know, I always kind of like listening to these guys, you know, when they're up there so high and they're talking so smart, you feel this confidence, and they don't have the performance. That's really it. You got to look at it. They are not growing. Ryder is growing, you know, 8%, whatever it was last year we put, or whatever week we did the transports on. That's the difference, you know. So I watch it, you know, because I keep on expecting this number to be double digits. It's not. PepsiCo, you know, oh, look at this, revenues fell. It's becoming like Verizon and these, you know, telecom stocks. Just becomes a bond paying a dividend. And of course the stock is just slowly grinding down. Oh, I know people 40 years ago that put their life savings in Pepsi, you know, and they didn't do bad. But, you know, if you're in this year and you bought it at, January, you were right here and it's down already about 10%. You know, you got 100,000 of Pepsi, you just lost 10 grand. And why? There it is. Go buy some Doritos. You'll really figure it out. I go to Jewel. That's my main shopping store. $6.29 for a 9-ounce bag. That's expensive for chips. Should be half of that. You know, I don't know where the money's going. I'd like to see the breakdown of this $6.29, how much Jewel's getting, how much PepsiCo's getting, how much the distributor's getting, but you can buy other brand chips for half the price, and that's what's happening. Why buy Pepsi? Yeah, I like Doritos, but guess what? I don't like it that much. You know, so something's wrong. I mean, I'm not talking, this is a truck stop. This is right at a big store, $6.29. Pick it up today. That's the problem. PepsiCo, and, you know, thank God Coke is in a lot of these food products, but that's a problem. That's why they're not growing. You know, you got to do something. Something's wrong in the prices. And, of course, that's where people are feeling it. Think, well, I always get a bag of Doritos every week. Now you're starting to feel it. You know, next to $3 a week, it starts to add up with all the different products. Hilton, I love the pillow. I give it the pillow of the year this year because I've bought 3 pillows in the last year, and that is the best pillow. You know, my old Hilton pillow, when it died, that's when I started looking around and went to Consumer Reports. Forget that. Go back to what worked. Hilton pillows. You know, I just love it. It's great. Look at the double digits. Not quite. 6.7. It's solid. You know, they're on fire. They know the products. They know the market. They're doing well. You know, I'm not looking for double digits in a hotel. I just want a steady rate, and it's not bad, but we don't own it. I mean, I watch it all the time, and, you know, good, solid company, you know. Honeywell going to drop the big one because they're going to split in 3 companies, which GE did too, and under the new leadership, it took off. If you would have bought GE when it split, you did real well. You know, aerospace, Vinova, and medical, I mean, they've just done well, and they've, you know, taken 3 good companies where Jeff Immelt just took it down, you know, $400 million to $100 million or whatever it was that he took it down in 20 years. I mean, largest company in the world, 2000, and then crap it out, you know. So 6.9 is good, you know. I mean, it's a big company. Geez, you know, good revenues. Then they get the CEO. Nice guy, very smart. Couldn't explain why the split and he's even going to take. You would think you'd say, I'm probably looking at automation. Or it was just kind of an odd interview. You just kind of like, oh, we're going to do it. It's going to be good for us, and really couldn't explain it. Okay, that's not good. You know, will I buy it? No. I mean, it's. I'd have to see the numbers for these. I'd like to see it come out. And of course, it's going to be maybe a lot higher if it's better. But, oh, I didn't like that CEO interview this week. You know, Air American Superconductor, I remember George Gilder, what was it, 2000, 25 years ago. Put your money in. This is going to be a great company. He was hot. You know, he picked Qualcomm and other companies. And, you know, people were paying $400 a year to get his newsletter. Remember when we actually read things? I mean, just craziness. And then really been, for if you had 20 and 25 years, you got screwed because you didn't get Apple or Microsoft or, you know, all these other companies that were around. You know, no, he didn't hit it at all. But look at this revenue jump. This is incredible, 56%. You know, I mean, I go through hundreds of, you know, these last 2 weeks, hundreds of earning reports. So when I see something jump 56%, you know, I think this little thing from the past, all dusted and everything, the market kind of liked it, but it went up $2. Big deal. I mean, this is one we got to look at. This is, you know, this is the stuff that when you see something like that, you would expect it to go from, let's say, 27 to 47. You know, that's how the people do, but there's no interest. A lot of people not into stock. We're going to look at it. We're going to look at the details. I'm going to have to go into it because that's something that's on our radar. And if that's, you know, I'm just hoping it's not some, you know, quarter blip and they did something like sell a lot of stuff or whatever. But, you know, or front load inventory, who knows? But, you know, they always talk about super micro. This is super micro, but it ain't called super micro. It's called American, you know, superconductor. So we'll look at it. Ford, you know, we got the auto companies, Salenta, GM, Ford, you know, 4%. It's okay. Not negative. That's, you know, Ford, but look at it, you know. I mean, this is the stuff when you own, you know, the auto companies. You know, look at this, $14. I remember when it was 20. Also remember when it was $1 under the 2008 collapse. You know, but this one dropped. It broke what we call the bottom support level. So now where's it going to go? I don't know. Everybody's worried about tariffs. You know, the Ford Fusion and other cars are a lot of components from Mexico. You know, somebody was saying GM's got the most that would be affected by tariffs. And it was going to be a blanket tariff, and then the panic set in. And then, no, Monday we settle it and put 10,000 people at the border, kind of control the fentanyl, which is no joke. 400,000 people plus die from fentanyl. Twice as many in car crashes. Twice as many as car crashes. 3 times more than oxycodone, Continent, hydrocodone back in, you know, 10 years ago when that epidemic was just rolling. So I think they'd just been better off letting oxycodone. At least you knew where it was going. It was legal. It was pure. It wasn't overdosing because of, you know, poor quality. It was top quality heroin, but, you know, you could have maybe done better. I don't know. It's a tough issue. But Ford, you know, like I said, you know, one thing that I've bought 5 Fords. They got to get the quality. I just got so tired of these stupid recalls. I said, I'm not buying it. I mean, that's it. And it wasn't cheap. You know, it was like a lot more than the competition. So, you know, but they got a loyal base. You know, the trucks are always good for Ford. You know, I mean, I like the Ranger, and the new Ranger looks good too. But we'll see. You know, like I said, you know, CEO's good. He knows the industry. You know, so will he be able to turn around? I don't know. You know, they need stability. That's why I said we have all this. You know, what I call dogs barking about tariffs until probably July. Then it'll all be settled, and then they'll get on to the business of actually competing. Qualcomm, you know, normally I wouldn't talk about Qualcomm because, but look at that, that's 17%. That's nothing to shake out. Plus, it broke out of the trend a few weeks ago. This company is starting to turn around, you know, big in the phones, and, you know, got a lot of work with Samsung, and, you know, it's bounced off the double bottom. So, you know, will it go up back up to, what is it, 219, which would be probably a big jump, 30% jump? I don't know, but it's doing good. I'm watching it. I watch the news every day on you know, the stocks, and if Qualcomm's doing something that I think is going to be innovative, next generation, I'll do that. Remember, you know, they're going to use AI. They're not one of the big players in AI for their chips. Uber, that's a pretty good jump. I wasn't sure, you know, because Uber's like all over the board. I mean, you know, this is down, up, down, up. Oh my God, you know, Uber stockholders just get heartburn. But you know, like I said, if they have the ability that they're going to do the buying of these cars in Atlanta and doing it, and you know, Google gets a cut, Uber makes the money. That's not a bad stock, you know. And remember, it's not just the United States. Uber's worldwide. So, you know, you just think. I've done the math. I explained the math a lot of times. These driverless cars are going to pay for themselves in a year. And you're going to have nobody driving for Uber anymore, because why would you? You know, you're not going to, the people, if they have a choice of a person or a driverless car, they're going to take the driverless car for a short route. Because it works. Not going to have crazy, you know, driving Daryl. Hey, get up there and jack that car. I got to get to the airport in 10 minutes. No, it's just going to drive what it is. You know, that's part of your thing. So, and it broke out of a trend, a little bit of short-term trend, and it got an upper cap, you know, here, here, here. So not a bad time if you wanted to think about it. You know, it's one of those stocks I'm watching, and you know, I'm not going to hope that it gets back down here. Either I'm going to get into it at, you know, 74, 75, 80, and then go with it, you know, because it is profitable. I mean, this is a chunk of earnings. You know, that's not a bad earnings, and they're making money, and they're dominant in their sector. A lot of things we like about Uber, and the piece with Waymo/Google is really positive. So, again, I'm just trying not to overload on tech, because you know, I do have a lot of tech, a lot of healthcare. AMD, you know, Lisa Su, oh my God, you think she was the worst CEO in the world? This is a good earnings, 24%. You know, there's not too many companies doing 24% earnings. You know, data segment up 69%. You know, $7 billion. And that's a lot of money. Client segment 58%. They're good. What they make is good. They missed the AI thing. Okay, they're working on AI, but they're way behind. They're not going to get the orders like NVIDIA. Fine, you can dominate everything else. You know, I mean, this is it. I won't buy a computer without AMD. You know, that's simple. When I went and got a new laptop last week, I'm looking for AMD in it. I'm not looking for Intel anything anymore, because I think Intel's got problems. But look at this thing, $100. I mean, I don't know. You know, I mean, where's the point where you say, you know, AMD? I don't think they're going to stop. I think they're doing great. It's just a matter of when do we buy it or not. You know, I don't know. You're going to give it to me at 80, I'm on it. But boy, it broke through the trend, and you know, this is the trouble. Negative sentiment is in the stock market. The momentum players don't want to touch it. They don't think it's good. The shorts are on it. I don't know. I mean, it's just an unfortunate situation, and I think, you know, they're just not looking at the, you know, the momentum. All momentum people care about is it going to get better? Is it hot? And can I make more money on the crowd? You know, in and out. Ethereum, like you know, Alexa said, wow. You know, I mean, you know, you start out the year and, you know, it's at 3,400. You know, it was at 4,000, which is the previous highs that we've had for the last, you know, 5 years. And now we're at 2,600, and people are like, oh my God. You know, all the crypto's been beat up. You know, Alexa, what's the price of Bitcoin?
One Bitcoin is worth $96,600
There it is.
US dollars.
Below 100,000.
1.1% over the last 24 hours.
You know, it was 109,000. Now it's 96, and was 91 a couple weeks ago. I mean, it's you got to have. I can tell people just ease into it. It's only 2.8% of our portfolio. It's not a, you know, all of it together is just like one stock with a little overweight on it. That's it. It's just one stock out of the 40 or whatever. Just ease into it. Don't be, you know, I mean, you know, in the group, you know, Wolfie and you know, Swiss, they're high, not like 2.5, which is what we're at 2.8. Ideally 2.5 would be it. No, they're like, you know, 15, 20%, because they believe in the future of Bitcoin, and that's the younger generation. They're going to have it. They want to do it. And of course, I had another person, you know, Ox, you know, he got into it. He says, I need to get in there. I'm going to start buying crypto. There it is, you know, because they look at it, it's so cheap, and they think they believe it. You know, that's the difference. You know, I mean, it's a commodity to me. You know, I don't, you know, have this as a This is the future, you know. And then transports, we're going to look, I mean, not, oh, I forgot to take out the word health. You know, when you're tired of making mistakes. Health. We already covered Lilly and Merck. The IYH is the index fund for health, and going up overall. So, you know, kind of tracking like a Lilly did, and you know, Novo Nordisk and stuff. But you know, it's choppy. Again, a lot of ups and downs. So that's the tough thing. And of course, you know, in the death of United Healthcare, it was down pretty bad. Novo Nordisk, you know, kind of coming back from the dead. You know, but it's in this channel, and everybody's looking at it. PE is pretty good for a stock that has dividend and growth. AMGN, Alzheimer, and doing well. Kind of come up, hit the resistance, of course, and then it bounces off the resistance. But, you know, you're coming from 260 all the way up to, you know, 300. That's a pretty good run for a while. 3.3% dividend. The PE is fine. You know, I mean, healthcare is, you know, what's fair for, you know, a lot of these? I don't know. Profitable. So, I mean, this is gap up. Drop back, fill the gap, drop down over here. I mean, oh, you know, that's why you have a basket. You don't look at it. You kind of look at what the basket does over a week time and not get into the individuals unless we think something fundamentally changed with the company. I know this is a long show, isn't it? I got so many companies, but we only got 4 more slides. So, Novacor, you know, a couple weeks ago, you know, the pancreatic phase 3 test was successful. You know, you would think you come out with a great phase 3 on pancreatic cancer, which is damn near uncurable, it would be like double. No. We're tired. We're tired. We're not into this stuff. We gave you the gap up, and now we're just slowly filling the gap. And it could fill the gap right down to here, and then we can go up. But I believe that they've got great chirp therapy and the vibration and everything on working on it, and I think they're doing well. This company we're going to be sticking with. I'm not worried about the data thing. I'm looking at what are they doing to solve cancer, and they're doing great. And eventually, the market will figure it out, and momentum players will jack it up because you never can take too much money from the retail people. Arrowhead Pharmaceutical, again, a lot of stuff in phase 1, phase 2, and you know, it's just country around. Remember, no dividend, no earnings, just you know, just the pharmaceutical and. But it did join the S&P small cap, so that's some recognition, you know. So, you know, it's not sitting there in the middle of all these other thousands of stocks in the Russell 5000 or whatever. APGE, APGE, you know, whatever you want to say. Phase 2 for dermatitis, which you know, I don't think it's going away. I think overall dermatitis is increasing, you know, with kids and adults and stuff, and you know, kind of been flat here, and you know, that's you know part of the pharmaceuticals. Biotechs, you know, Roche Holdings out of Europe, you know, I mean, look at the year. This is a good stuff. Year to date, up 13%. Boy, you know, so in the basket, we're not doing bad in healthcare. And again, you know, I always say that everybody's going to use it and they're going to hit it, and which company's going to do it, who knows. Severe eye disease, pharmaceutical sales 8%. Remember that? You know, we're not all going to get Lilly, you know. But breast cancer, multiple sclerosis, hemophilia, I mean, a lot of stuff they're doing, a lot of good products, good PE, good dividend, and we got solid growth. You know, I mean, will the S&P grow 8%? No. Maybe, you know, but probably not. The heat map, boy, this is really choppy. I mean, you know, yeah, we have Microsoft 1% for the week. Apple and Tesla. Look at Tesla. Wow. Google, they didn't like it. Remember, they took it down. But that's just temporary. You know, you got to remember, you know, Google's doing good. Then let's say what's good. Look at the big bright greens. Oh, NVIDIA, Lilly. We don't have Costco, but we got Walmart. Pretty close. You know, so these are, you know, different things that are going. The Coke's a little bit up. You can see Pepsi's the, you know, other trade. Disney came out earnings not so good. You know, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, our refineries, you know, Exxon's up, Conoco's down, but not so bad. I mean, our banks, you know, all the banks did well, you know. I mean, MasterCard, Visa, JP Morgan, Citibank, you know, Bank of America, you know, solid areas. And then, you know, look at the Blackstone. Wow, you think that's like the worst guy. I mean, Blackstone's huge, you know, and that's the company I'm watching. But, man, you know, it's just momentum up there. And, of course, Morgan Stanley, our wealth advisors, doing well. So a lot of stuff is working, and we're in it. And you know, like I said, everybody out there, you know, what is this Planeteer, like 25% up? I mean, it's, again, momentum stock. But other than that, I'm sorry it's a long show. It's 45 minutes. We're out of here. See you next week. And the week will be a lot less earnings. Bye.